Hello and welcome back everyone to SpaceSim. I know 2 SpaceSim videos in a row. That means that we're really enjoying it, but it's just such a good program. And I've been baking this supernova simulation for a while. I failed a couple of times, but this time it came out really good. So let's go ahead and rewind. Back to being a star, which is labeled star for your star viewing pleasure. So this beautiful star is just on the verge of going critical and becoming a beautiful supernova. But what's going to happen is that, I'm going to turn this time down really low so that it doesn't happen in like 2 seconds. These little spheres of material are going to fall into the star, and they're just going to slightly push it over the edge. You know, when you're very upset, but you're not quite a supernova, and then someone just calls you like 3 times and you just lose it. Yeah, the star is about to do that. But when it comes to mass, because it's just on the verge of collapsing on itself and exploding and just adding a little bit of mass, and it probably doesn't help that these collisions are actually quite gnarly. Look at the amount of damage, like look at how deformed the star is from these collisions. These are like the equivalent of giant gas giants, or maybe even other stars, depending on how large this star is. I'm not actually sure. Look at the holes that it leaves. Look at the depth of the, like, it goes miles and miles into the star. Ugh, it's being ripped apart by these collisions, but at some point, the star is just going to decide that it cannot take any more of this. It can't take any more of the abuse. And actually, I am going to slow it down even further so that when that does happen, we can see it happen very slowly and in detail. We have 500,000 particles being simulated here. I was trying with more than that, but I was running into problems. And the GPU solver was not playing nice. So this was actually all simulated on my CPU, which kept my garage nice and warm for me, because that oh you don't care about that because look, it's going supernova. Okay, so first, like, let's pause here because this is kind of the coolest moment. The surface of the star and the core of the star have just completely, if I zoom in you'll see it's not hollow, there's material all over, but it's simply the gravity. The gravitational force is no longer stronger than the force of the gases pushing out, and it just completely deforms. It stops being a sphere. We get this kind of really cool shape that's formed. I don't really have it's not really a proper shape, so I don't have a name for it, but it's just this kind of volumetric blob of just star material, and it's still pretty solid because stars are really dense, right? So even when you spread it out a bit, it's still, like, it doesn't look like a gas, it just looks like a really large, angry, deformed star. But any second now, it's gonna start to look a lot different. Very bright too. The temperature is absolutely insane. The amount of light this puts off, I mean, when a supernova occurs, the light will go through space for millions of years and then hit planets, and they'll see it in their night sky. Proof that they at one point existed, but now do not. It's kind of beautiful if you think about it, you know? Nobody will forget this star. Oh boy, it's gone blindingly white there. And now the material is starting to spread out enough that I can see gaps, and it's gonna stop being just this bright white blob, and now it looks more like a field. I'm gonna pause this because this is one of the also very cool moment where we have this kind of like field of gas now, where it doesn't really look like an object anymore. It doesn't look like a star, but you can kind of tell that it's beginning to become a nebula of just all of this gas and material that's flying out. There's spots that are obviously still too bright to see unless I tweak the exposure settings, but you can really see how it's kind of developing into this shape. We got kind of these peaks that are coming out from where the majority of the force flew out, but let's let it continue and let it grow. Oh god, supernova are just so cool, especially because it's going to become the birthplace of so many new stars. I mean, all of this material is going to be recycled, which makes it, in a way, the most eco-friendly process, except for everything it killed. I mean, if there are planets around it, they are totally doomed. But, recycling. I love recycling. I'm going to continue to move this a little bit so that you can get a feeling for just how 3D and volumetric it is. It is just absolutely glorious, and it looks like there's this cold gas that kind of got ejected out the bottom too. You can see this darks patch that you can only really see if I move like this. I wonder if on the other side we have the same thing. No, it just seems to be kind of in that direction. Yeah, we got kind of a stream of that cold gas. But look at that. This is starting to look like the sorts of things I would graph on my three-dimensional graphing calculator for Calculus 3 in college. Like, look at that shape. It's beautiful. I can see so many functions in here. Look at the exponential equations. But seriously, it looks awesome. We've got these little bits that are still super heated, clumpy, and actually this material has so much mass to it that parts of it are actually going to clump together under their own weight and form, you know, little hot spots. But for the most part, the edges are just this really thick gas from the supernova that's just going to continue to spread out. And I'm going to speed things along a little bit. So you can actually see, here's something interesting. So while these like lighter and very quickly ejected gases are moving out, you'll notice something kind of interesting. In the center, the heavier, bright, hot bits, which still have a lot of mass, are actually falling back in. They're too heavy, they don't have enough velocity to escape, and they're actually reforming into a new star, which is pretty cool. I don't know the exact kind of supernova this is, but I believe this is probably a neutron star reforming. I'm curious if it shows in the preset. Creating a planetary nebula. So it's definitely creating a nebula. I feel like neutron stars don't completely get destroyed though. I'm pretty sure they fall in and then the outside gets shed. So maybe it's not a new. I don't know what kind of object is forming in the center of this, honestly. I should probably have asked ChatGPT. I'm not gonna pretend to be like an astronomer, okay? I am software engineer who does space physics in his free time. But if you want to debate down in the comments below what remains in the center of this, if it's just your standard old star, it's definitely not a black hole, I can tell you that, because it's emitting light. Don't come in here talking about Hawking radiation. I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean. You know what I mean, okay? Okay? No visible light, all right? Thank you. But yeah, as the simulation continues, a lot of this heavier material is falling back in and forming a star. Look how happy it is. It's very unstable. And even as we continue throughout the simulation, like very far into the simulation, it's still having a hard time. And undulating, you'll see it's kind of growing and shrinking. It's bouncing. At some point, it'll probably be stable. But like all good things, it starts out unstable. There's a joke here about humanity. But yeah, really cool how like the outside flies out at maximum velocity and the inside is like, nah, we can try again, man. We can make another star, but better. But as the rest expands outward and forms this nebula, oh, look at the shimmering. I love that effect, the shimmering. It grows darker as the material spreads out, but look at the absolute shape it creates, though. It's so beautiful. There's some beautiful symmetry here, too. We can see kind of like an infinity sign formed here. And this is going to become the birthplace of so many stars and beautiful things. Thankfully for them, all of this material has a velocity high enough to escape from the star and not fall back into it, because if you were like a young star or planet, it would probably really suck to be eaten by your parent. Yeah, dad over here. Oh no, everything went black. Did I break the simulation? No! No! Oh, come on, we were doing so well. Are you serious? Did I break it? I don't even know how I broke it. Camera? Wow, That was an abrupt end. Kind of like a supernova, if you think about it. We had a beautiful, beautiful video, and now it has collapsed in on itself, leaving only me. I am the star of the show. Wait, no, I fixed it! Yes! Okay, we don't have to end the video. Oh, but I already did like an excellent intro for the end of the video. I like how this is just labeled in falling matter now. Yeah, anyways, I mean, I didn't really have too much more to go over except for the fact that it looks really cool. Oh, look at that, like, figure 8. Oh, it looks so cool. Probably this is, like, the best spot, though. I like it when it's still, like, purple and blue a little bit. Like, oh, it just looks so good. The aesthetics on it are excellent. Well, let's play it backwards, because that's cool. So, falling backwards, reforming the star. We're gonna pull it all the way in, and then back when it's kind of a shape, not much of a field anymore. It's kind of solid, and then, oh, it's the star again, but when it was very angry, I guess it's kind of a star. And then we're going to remove, this kind of looks like a cell being attacked by viruses. But we can just remove all that extra material, and it's a happy star again. I mean, it's just so violent. Look at, like, the speed. These are moving quickly into it, and, like, the speed at which the actual supernova happens is just, like, instant. Like, instant. It's so fast. It's hard to, like, it's hard to overstate how insane it is. All right, now I'm gonna let you go. Thank you all for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Peace out. Oh, and let me know if you want to see any other specific simulations. Technically, I can make my own. This is a preset.